All right, thank you for joining us today. And in this video, we are going to talk about two sets problem. Okay, so if this is your first time here, I recommend you go and start from the beginning before you get here. Right, nice, nice. Let's jump right in. Now, before I will start with the two set problem, I just want to give you one question, then you try, like you try it yourself. So you can try from the next video. You can try I said in the previous video we did some example there, but you can go and try something like a minus b intercept c, right? And then is the same as a minus b union a minus c. Good, so you can try this one. I'm just leaving it up top there, so you can try. So now we are looking at two sets problem, right? We are looking at two set problem. I'm not going to solve example here, but I'm just trying to introduce the two set, right? So let's assume that I have this nice box here. Oh, it's not nice. Okay, and I have these two circles here. Let me say this guy here is A, this guy here is B, right? And let me say this is our union, right? Let me say this is um, I, this is I, and let me say this is IV. So we are going to explain each of them, right? So what you need to know is A is a set, B2 is a set, but A and B are a subset of this guy. That is a universal set, right? So let's try and explain each of the the region, like the region that we have. Let's try and explain them. So now let me pick let me start with II. Now II is something like something that is between A and B. So when we started, we talked about intersection. So II is equal to A intercept B. So that is II. II is equal to A intercept B, right? So A intercept B. What is I? You can see that when we are talking about I look at this. I is not having any element in B. So we can say A only, right? So that one is A only. But let's use the other notation that we learned from the previous video, right? Where we were talking about difference. So if we are talking about difference here, it means that here we are subtracting the B from what? A. So here we are going to have A difference B. And this is the same as A only, right? So if you remember when we were doing the other video, and this can be written as, so before I even write the B only, remember we said we can write this one as A intercept B complement, which is the same as A only. Good. So what will be I? Good. What you said is right. I is going to be B minus A, which is B intercept A complement, and it is equal to B only. So what is IV? IV will be like all elements in the universal set that are not, or let me say, yes, that are not in A and B, right? So we can say that this is the same as A picking A union B, like picking all the elements in A and B and finding its conjugate. Did I say conjugate? Complement. Thank you. So we find all elements in what? A and B, then we find a complement. That would be IV. And remember, from the De Morgan's law, this can be written as A prime intercept B prime. The idea of find A prime What will be A prime? A prime will be B only, right? And then B prime 2 will be A only, right? So when you find the intersection, there's no intersection, so it will be just outside. So that is the idea how we can write this. But now let's write some equation from this. So remember how to write all those things, right? Now let's form some equation from this. Now we can talk about when I'm using, let's say, let's assume that I have A to be equal to 1, 2, 3. When I'm talking about n of A, I'm talking about the number of A. So the number of A here is 3. When you get to Cartesian plane, you understand what I'm trying to say. But I just wanted to show you the notation that if I'm talking about n of A, I'm talking about the number of A. So now one equation that we need to learn is the number of A union B is the same as the number of A plus the number of B minus the number of A intercept the number of B, right? So the number of A union B is the same as the number of A plus the number of B minus the number of this, right? So that is how we are going to do it. The idea is that, remember, when I add this and this, there will be a number which is common to this and this. So if we have a number which is common to this and this, then what we need to do is we need to subtract that number. For example, let's assume I have let me say A. So let's use the A above there, and this is 3, 4, 5. This is B. This is B, right? B is 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and this is 1, 2, 3. Now what is A intercept A union B? A union B is going to be like 1, right? 2, 3, 4, and 5. What is happening here? We can see that there was one element which is 3 and 3 here, but we didn't write all the 2. So it's like we are subtracting one of the number from this. So now when you are talking about the number of this one, the number of this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the number of this one is A union B. Okay, let me just use it here. So the number of A union B is 5, which is equal to, what's the number of A? 3. What's the number of B? Also 3. What's the number of A intercept B? Now you ask yourself, what is A intercept B? A intercept B is equal to 3, because we have 3 here and we have the 3 here. So now when I subtract, sorry, yeah, this one is equal to this. So the number of A union B will be 1, which is minus 1, and 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 minus 1 is going to give us what? 5, which is the same as that. So it means that this equation holds. And we can also make this guy here the subject. I can make this guy here the subject by bringing this one here and bringing this one here. So I can also write this one as A intercept B is the same as number of A plus number of B minus number of A union B. So I can also do the same thing here. So that is one thing that you need to learn, right? Then we can also learn from this is that the number of the universal set, if you want to learn the number of the universal set on its own, then it's actually equal to the number of A union B, the number of A union B plus the number of A union B complement. What am I trying to say? So we are talking about the number of A union B, which is the number of everything here, plus, let's assume that we have an extra number which is here. Then we need to add that number to this before we can get the number of the total set, right? So this is another equation that also you need to have in mind when as far as two sets problem is concerned. So yeah, so this is two set problem. We're able to figure out this, which is right here, and then we're able to figure out this equation also right here. Sometimes we use them to solve objectives. or even some of 16 questions, we need to remember to use them. So see you in the next video, which we are going to talk about three-set problem. And then three-set problem, this is also the same thing that we are going to do. And when we finish, we take example, because three-set problem is kind of complicated. So join me there and let's make it easy for us to understand. See you in the next video.